All right, traders, welcome back. It is your weekly analysis, a free resource from me, Mighty Fine, the Trader Coach. Um, Quite a bit went on last week, lots of volatility around a multitude of news, but predominantly it was around NFP on Friday. We saw just a lot of spiky volatility coming towards the end of the week, particularly Friday. So, also over the weekend, we've had quite a few geopolitical things start to develop in terms of some tensions in the Middle East and kind of the ongoing, at least domestically, political shitstorm that is the US government. Um, and we have a bank holiday in multiple countries for Monday. So it could be kind of a slow burn start to the week. Potentially, we could, however, see a lot of volatility come in here in about 4 minutes when markets start to open up, just based on what has happened, whether it's a big change in the price of oil, based on some speculation of the tension in the area. It could be a multitude of things. So you're going to want to update your charts as the market opens up, especially into Monday and Tuesday, if you plan on trading on those days. Make sure that you check the economic calendar or head over to my free Discord. I drop in fundamental stuff and main events for the week every single week in there, as well as this and some other technical analysis stuff. On that note, before we dive in, I'm excited to announce that I'm going to reopen my course memberships in November. Really, just as soon as I get all of the content that I want done to the point where I want it and updated, but I am in the process right now of just kind of updating my course and making sure that it accurately reflects how I currently approach the markets, something that I've done over the past few years multiple times. This is like the fourth version of the course, or at least updates. So that'll be opened up. That's super exciting. Memberships as well for all my live trading sessions and the sort of higher tier VIP analysis weekly, as well as trade breakdowns and direct mentorship will also open up, and that's going to be on Discord alone. So check that out. Make sure that you're on the free version if you are interested in the future. For our analysis this week, we're just going to start by looking at DXY. We're going to look at DXY, EU, GU, AU, and then NASDAQ quite quickly. I've done all the markups pretty much so far. But like I said last week, it was very potential that we had a correction week. Theoretically, price is still above our daily demand, which is this red zone here, but it's all the way down here. And it'll be interesting to see as we open up in the week whether this continues to push downwards and if it breaks below this demand level. If it breaks below the daily demand level, we may have more of a bearish bias. And that could be a pretty significant correction loading up for the dollar if we break the daily demand, the daily order flow. I don't necessarily anticipate that that's going to happen based on all the news that came out last week with a very strong jobs report, so on and so forth. So it'll be interesting to see how we go as we open up this week. We're in a bit of consolidation to end the week here, so this is what I'll be watching here in just a few minutes as market opens up. And then we'll look to see how order flow establishes after that. So really, just based on the big high time frames, if price goes below that daily demand level there, then I would start to anticipate more of a bearish bias. But above that and in this area, I'm looking for any intraday transitions that might provide a move upside on the dollar. And that's going to bleed over to things like Euro, GBPUSD, and AUDUSD as well. Euro, very similar situation above this, much more bullish bias, but until then, remaining bearish, even though we are in this bullish current order flow on an intraday chart. We go to look at the H4. I would say that if price can break below this H4 demand level in blue down here, then we would reassume the bearish bias. But if price gets above this, look for order flow to establish bullish and create new higher lows to higher highs. Food for thought. If price can break into a new trend low, then we're just back to business and we're continued bearish. GBPUSD, very similar thing. If price gets above that, bullish. Within this, still bearish, even based on the H4 order flow being bullish, and same deal as well. If we break below H4 demand, then we'll definitely have an intraday, intra-week bearish bias. We'll look for an extension below the trend low. AUDUSD, similar situation, a little bit different. This one's in a much larger range. I would say that, this could theoretically pull back deeper relative to this. It's still bearish under 65,028 roughly, which is your daily supply up here. But if we break below that H4 demand down there, then we'll start to look a lot more bearish. If price continues to go up, there's an interesting little bit of liquidity over here as well as the upper portion of that supply. So watch out for both of those as we trade relative to the current trend leg. Last but not least, we're looking at Nasdaq. NAS 100, which is my main equities index that I like to watch. And this one, like I said last week, I go a little bit lower on my time frames, but what I would say right now is that if we look at the daily chart, lots of consolidation, theoretically broke to the upside. This is going to be very dependent on speculation that comes out on the dollar. And some more data this week. We have a large CPI release that you should be aware of if you are a Nasdaq trader or really a USD trader of any sort. If we go down to the H1, we can see that we have a little bit of a demand that was created right here, and it kind of finished off that push to the upside. I think that if we get a break below this level, 14,880, we'll see a retracement relative to this bullish move, and I would start to target buys somewhere in the 14,620 to 14,575 region over here. If you get a pullback and a transition to that area, you can look to go long. Now, with that being said, if instead we see price break under this, come down here, and even slightly pierce that level, I personally would not look to take the long trade, and I would just wait to trade order flow if price gets below the lows here. So it would look something like a crack there, push down, and then look to take that transition and extension to the downside there. So that's that. Really, what you're waiting on is this area down here for price to engage that theoretically. If instead price just opened up higher, you would look for an order flow continuation where you get some form of pullback, respecting the intraday demand, and then an extension higher and a series higher until you get into these 15,200 region up here. And that's really it, guys. Short and sweet for the week. Like I said, if you're not already subscribed to my Discord, go hit that button below. It's in the description of this video. Give this thing a thumbs up. It helps me get more spread and help more traders. Drop a comment if you have any questions. And until next week, trade smart, trade safe. Mighty Fine, out.